up your suitcase. Just bring whatever you'd want to have with you if you were to travel across the world. What would you bring? What are those things that you can really let go of and the things that you cannot? Hello and welcome, I'm Charlie Wild, and in this channel I create content to help you in your spiritual path and this path of a greater awakening that's unfolding on planet Earth. If you like my content, feel free to support my work on Patreon, the link will be below. In 2019, I left the US to live abroad, and in this 3-year journey I've gotten to live in several countries, several cities, and pretty different cultures. I even gave birth to my daughter 6 months ago in Prague, and currently I'm living in another European country. Today I'm going to share with you a few things that I really love as a spiritual nomad, intuitive minimalist. I call it intuitive because I don't abide to any particular rules. However, I do like simplicity. Freedom and simplicity are at the core of my spiritual practice. For me, the journey of living as an intuitive minimalist was something that started very early on in my life. I was born at the tail end of communism in a tiny country called Albania, and before the age of 7 or 8, I had never bought clothes. All the clothes that I had were made by my grandmother, and the shoes that I wore were made by my grandfather. My grandmother was a tailor, my grandfather was a shoemaker. And as communism fell and we were exposed to a failing economy, but at the same time more products started coming into Albania, we still couldn't afford to buy a lot of new things. So a lot of the things that I bought were secondhand from gypsy markets. I owned one Barbie, and this Barbie my mom bought at a gypsy market for a few cents. She had no clothes on, so because I had learned a little bit of sewing, I learned to make clothes for my little Barbie. However, once we moved to the United States, and after I became an adult and started working and making money, I really rejoiced in the fact that now I could buy any clothes that I really wanted to within my means. But I noticed no matter how much money I made or clothes that I bought, it didn't bring me any closer to any level of happiness or joy. And so in 2019, when I decided to leave the United States to live abroad, I had to make some very clear choices about the things that really mattered to me and the things that I wanted to bring with me. And these are things that I realized in the last 3 years I really like to have with me because they enrich my experience, they make it a little bit easier, and they also keep me grounded to my path. So one of the things I love to travel with is this singing bowl. I really appreciate it because it's quite small and light, so very practical to bring with. And sound is such a wonderful way to get grounded and connect. Sound healing has been an incredible part of my healing journey, and it is something that I recommend to all of my clients. Even my 6-month-old daughter loves it when I play the singing bowl. She usually calms down and is just mesmerized by its sound. Of course, journaling is a really essential part to my daily practice. I always like to have a gratitude journal and a dream journal. Yoga is the first practice that really got me reconnected to my body. Having come from a childhood where I experienced physical abuse, I tended to mistreat my body. Even when I worked out, I tended to overpush and overexert myself and sometimes completely dissociate. But yoga really got me reconnected with my physical body, and it's been a practice that I've been doing for a very long time. And I finally found this really wonderful mat that's quite thin, grips really well, and I just really enjoy those few minutes I get now in the morning to get grounded, to stretch, and even share some fun times with my daughter. The next item that I didn't plan to really bring with me, but actually has proved itself quite useful, is this travel oil diffuser. It just needs a little bit of water and the oils, and it just brings in a really nice scent. Whether you believe in the power of crystals or not, it's undeniable their beauty and the visual and aesthetic qualities that each crystal holds. But they can be quite heavy, so now the crystals that I have are crystals that I bring through jewelry, and this jewelry is all handcrafted by different artisans all over the world. Last but not least are these small red lights that are USB charged, and they're quite wonderful because they create a really nice red light. They're easy to pack and they're easy to set up. We tend to have a often unhealthy attachment to things, people, and places. And when we let go of this unhealthy attachment, we begin to see how it is important that we have a relationship with the things, people, and places around us that allows us freedom, fluidity, and a sense of clarity about what matters to us. Then we can really begin to experience what it is like to live a grounded as well as free life. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it and share it. And I'd love to hear from you and the things that you appreciate to have in your life and the things that you'd bring with you in your travels. Thank you and be blessed.